Do you want more? More time, more balance, more love, more sex, more money, more real, and less bullshit? This is the Women Wanting More podcast with Dr. Karen Osborne. Real life, real stories, plus real tips to get you more of what you want.
So I've been very mindful and very intentional to create episodes that, particularly in the last year, that uplift, that give you a little bit of a break from maybe the challenges that you're going through, that give you some inspiration, that give you some, like a break, from the shit that's happening in life. But the reality is, this isn't about always coming about you with the joy and the positivity. Like, yes, that is where we're supposed to land. However, I think it's still really important that we talk about the tough stuff too, right? Because so often that stuff is kind of skirted over because people don't want to talk about it, because it's not cool, because it doesn't get a lot of likes, And, but I would be doing you a disservice if we didn't have these conversations too, which is what I want to talk to you about today, which is moving through your feelings, okay? Not over them. Move through your feelings, not around them, not over, not under. Move through your feelings. So what does that mean? Well, it means you got to feel them, right? You need to move through something. You need to walk through them. You need to feel them. You need to experience them. You need to see them. You need to give them a little bit of the floor, right? Give them that space. Your feelings are coming up for a reason. And there's a way for you to really just allow yourself to feel it without the stories, without the drama, without the past conditioning stuff, the subconscious program of just looping on it, right? And that doesn't happen right away. Through a lot of challenges I've gone through over the past year or 2 years, I realized maybe 6 months ago, I was like, wow, I'm actually just feeling sadness right now, or whatever it was, or upset or something, and I'm not attaching a story to it. It just kind of happened, just with a lot of times that I just allowed myself to feel stuff. It's like driving a car. Okay, I'm driving my vehicle right now, dropping the kids off, or just dropped the kids off at school, and heading home to start my work day. And when you first learn to drive a car, right, you're like, 10 and 2. I don't know, do they still teach that? 10 and 2 when I was driving, where you keep your hands on the wheel, right? Check your mirrors, what's your speed at? How much stopping distance do you have? Put my turn signal on. But you would think of all the little parts and pieces, right? Until one day you just suddenly didn't, right? It just became kind of like a flow. To the point of some of us, you can be driving, you're like, oh, I just got home. We kind of go into autopilot a bit, right? So I don't want you to go into autopilot with your feelings, but I want you to know that the moment when you start to just go, oh, I can just feel stuff and not attach a story to it, it'll happen. And that's at least has been my experience, is that it'll happen in that way. Okay? Not from, nothing good ever happens out of resistance. It just doesn't. Even if I think of physically in the body, I can think of for years. I mean, I lifted weights for, I'm not even joking with this number. This is about 33 years. I do the math on that. From 15 until I moved here to Victoria when I was 47. So, and then I started boxing, and now I'm doing some different things. And there's some kind of resistance, but it's more like body weight stuff that I do. But so what's the math on that one? 15 to 32 years. That's a long ass time, right? And it was probably the last 2 years that I realized or 3 years. I'm like, oh, if I literally either outside or inside smile, if I relax as I lift, even though that maybe sounds counterintuitive, you're like, but you're flexing, but you're contracting. Yes, but there's a way to relax in that. that my workouts in the experience, I won't say were easier, but they weren't just a push. Do you hear me on that? And so when it comes to feeling your feelings, it's that way too. It's like, it can just be where you literally feel them and you don't stop them, right? There's a lot of energy and resistance. Okay, just think right now, I want you to just take your shoulders and tense them up. Bring your shoulders up towards your ear, right? Like tense them, like make things as tight as they can. And then allow them to drop down and relax. Which of those two, either in the relaxed state right now or in the contract tense state, which one expended more energy for you, right? And you know, of course, it's the tense, it's the contracted one. So when we resist feelings, they just continue. Like, it doesn't give it, and your feelings are coming up to say, hey, we got to feel this stuff. There's something in it. We got to move this, right? Emotions are energy and motion. They're there to be moved. It's why when you cry, you feel good. It's why if you feel like screaming, and maybe you fucking do, you go like, oh, like there was something primal inside you that just said, move that shit. Right? It's why when we laugh, we have that good belly laugh. We'll go like even beyond the whole what happens in the body chemically and yada yada. Yeah, those things too, and that's also important. But it's just understanding that your emotions are not designed to be bottled, squashed, pushed aside, or resisted in any way. They're meant to be moved. You need to move through your feelings, and I get it. I know that you might be listening to this, you're like, oh, Karen, like, man, if I really like unleash this stuff, like I've been bottling up for years, it'll be like, you know, it'll be like a volcano. I get it. I've been there too. I've been there several years ago where, yeah, I squashed it down for a long time. And here's what happens. Here's how you know when you've squashed it down. You can cry at any moment. Like the littlest thing will trigger you, right? Or you can watch, I don't care if you're a big-hearted person, but, you know, you just, some little thing and you'll be like, oh my God, suddenly you're bawling, right? Why? Well, because suddenly your soul and your heart had a moment to feel something. And so it went, oh, let's go on this pony and take a ride here right now, because we're not allowing, you know, you're not allowing us to normally feel stuff. So now we see a little opening, we're going to take it and run. So hell yes, if you have been squashing your feelings for a while, yeah, be prepared. It most likely will be like drinking from the fire hose, right? Like it's going to come gushing out. The pendulum's going to swing really far to one way. It's okay. It's okay. Allow yourself to come undone. Allow yourself to come undone. Allow yourself to be a human being. Allow the healing to come. Understand that when you get cracked wide open, it is space for love to come in. It is space for grace. It is space for abundance. It is space for healing. And in order for that to happen, you have to move through your feelings. They need to be expressed. It's like, you know, think of with your kids, right? If you're a parent or you've, you know, experienced it with other parents of, you know, that your child's been like, mommy, and you're like, yeah, honey, hold on, right? Kind of thing until they're like, mommy, right? And you're like, oh, like they're going to keep kind of like pulling at your, you know, your jacket. They're going to keep mommy, you know, until you kind of give them the floor. Those are like your feelings saying, well, I need you. There's something here that I need your attention here right now. We got this work to do. And if we continue to ignore those things, it'll just keep coming bigger and bigger. And then what tends to happen is what absolutely happens is that we have people in our life that now project that stuff back to us. And when we don't want to see it, guess what? Now we're mad at that person. We see things in others that are inside of us and say, we call that a, quote, trigger. And I'm going to have you consider that that's a trigger, yes, but it's a mirror. And we don't like it. But it's so easy to point that finger, isn't it? Oh, fuck, that person's doing this. And yeah. There's something in them that we're seeing that we see in ourselves. That's hard to do. Because we go, whoa, wait a second, but she's a bitch or he's an asshole. I get it, but there's something though. There's something. There's something in there. And so we will continue to bring people into our life that become these walking projections, mirrors for us, so that we can wake up and allow ourselves the moments to be human beings, to heal, to move past through all this shit that we grew up with. The stuff that your heart is aching for you to heal through. And we allow ourselves to move through our feelings, not around, not under, not over, none of the spiritual bypassing, through it. And here's the cool thing that happens when you begin to. So yes, my experience has been with clients is it'll be like, it'll swing to one side. They're like, feelings, right? Suddenly it's like, again, it's that drinking from the fire. It's like they're all going to come gushing out. And then the pendulum will kind of like fall to center. And then you're going to notice that you start to feel those feelings without the stories. And then you're going to start to notice your feelings. So you're gonna notice things. You're gonna notice that there's times where you're like, man, I'm like really feeling angry. Oh man, oh yeah, I'm having this like crazy thought thing again. Hey, ego, hi. Okay, so you know all the crazy story, like I see you. Thank you. We're gonna choose something different. It's like the moment that you kind of feel it, it's a smoother flow. It's not always that way. Nobody's perfect. You're going to have the explosions. You're going to lose your shit. But in order to move through your feelings, you need to feel your feelings. You got to move through them. It is the only way through. And you will become a pressure cooker. And then what happens is we don't express that, and we have all the people around us that are projecting those mirrors for us, and then we create this big shell around us. And we go, not letting anybody in. And the shell often looks like this: anger. Okay? Anger, or fear, or outrage, or blame, and then what happens is, now the anger, there's so much inside of us that then it starts to get anger back on. We project it back onto ourselves. Self-loathing, we're not good enough, not worthy, not enough, I suck. Why am I even here? Now, I don't want to make this seem too Pollyanna and just kind of like, well, this is just feelings, and suddenly all these, it'll be like dominoes, that it'll just all come tumbling down. All the facades, all the illusions, all the pain, all the wounds, like everything just be like a switch, like boom, right? No, but it's the beginning. Right? It's the outer shell that your soul is urging you to do. And it's hard, right? Because it's now you got to be vulnerable. But you don't have to do it with anybody but yourself. It literally could be something as simple as you talk about your feelings in a journal right now. Or when you're feeling like you want to cry. When you can, if you're in the middle of like a business meeting, I get it, you can't, right? But that you allow yourself to feel it. And guess what? Even your kids get to see this side of you too. What a beautiful gift. To allow your children to see that feeling all sorts of feelings is part of the human experience. That yes, our default and our kind of North Star is joy and positivity and love and grace and compassion and empathy, but we have this other pieces of us. We have this darker side of us too. The North Star is the light, but we can't deny the other pieces and just go, oh, it's just to get to this. It's like when I was in chiropractic college, I remember when I was, when I started in and I was like, oh, I'm just like putting in my time to get to the end where I got the diploma so I can go out and serve. So my brother was and still is a chiropractor, and I was drawn to chiropractic, worked in his office for a number of years, and I kind of knew that school was, I need to go to school to learn about anatomy and the human body and the nervous system and like all these things and how to actually adjust and like all these bits and pieces, right? But I kind of saw it as like, it was like this thing that I had to go through to get to the other side so then I can really do the work, right? Which was kind of what it's what it was. But there were times at the beginning of it that I didn't really truly appreciate like how important that it really, really was, It was, to me, it was just like I was like doing time. I'm like a prisoner. I'm like doing time till I can get out and be free and be served and help to really change my community, my world, and help them to heal and full families to heal. But I needed to go through it. There was some point that I kind of got to, and I was like, oh, actually, no, I got to go through this. I can't kind of like try to go around or half-ass. I was like, no, I put myself fully into it, and I went through it. Did a lot of personal healing in our work during that time through as well too, but like had to go through it, right? So we could take these moments in our life, which you could be at a crisis and a crossroads and at something tough. I mean, listen, as I record this, it's December the 5th, I think. And, we're in kind of holiday mode, right? Like, holidays aren't always so great. They're not always easy at all. And if you're going through something difficult, believe me, it's like it gets more exposed during these times, right? It gets more exposed to go, wow, life is not what I kind of want it to be right now. And there's everybody with their Santa pictures and their smiling faces and baking all the cookies and doing all the right things, or so it kind of appears to us at times, right? When everybody's going through their stuff. But it's harder because it's the holidays. We're supposed to all be happy, right? That maybe if things aren't happening the way that you want them to be within your life, with your family, with your friends, and it seems to be, and again, be on social, like all the messages about all the cool stuff that everybody's doing, and you're like, I'm not a part of that party. Like, I get it. It's hard during this time. So please be easy on yourself. Please give yourself grace, and please give yourself permission to feel your feelings. My boys will tell me that. Mommy, I'm allowed to feel my feelings. Yeah, baby, you are. You sure as hell are. Yep. They see mommy feeling her feelings too. So please really take this episode to heart and move through your feelings. Okay, so here's your more tip for today. You can choose one of these things, okay? Let me give you an A or B, okay? You're going to either A, journal your feelings. It doesn't matter what it looks like. It doesn't matter if you find you're like, oh, I'm going in circles, I'm getting nowhere. It doesn't matter. Just start the process of getting your feelings out and not bottling inside, okay? So either do that. That's A. Here's option B. You're going to cry or you're going to scream. I know, we're mostly women. It's like, oh, I'm not supposed to scream. No, like, there's a lot of us that have some stuff inside that we got to get to that space. And if you're like, well, what do I do? Well, you scream into a pillow. Be in your car where there's not a lot of people around. Our cars are actually pretty soundproof. I've done that before. So, A or B. Cry it out, scream it out, or write it out is actually A. Yeah, A is write it out. Let's just A is write it out. Okay. B is cry it out or scream it out. And I'm telling you, your heart and your soul will say thank you. More, please. Okay? Thank you and more, please. And then here's kind of the little bonus points I'm going to offer you to do. When you do this, there's something to me when I have that quote unquote good cry and allow myself to feel those feelings, which again, on my better days, I can do it without attaching. There's something about then when I look at myself in the mirror that my eyes are more clear, which to me is always a metric of like, oh yeah, I needed that. Because I feel clearer. I feel a little lighter inside. Once the dust kind of settles from it, I'm like, okay. And then I move forward. And then I move towards joy. And then I might put on a song and I'm dancing in the kitchen too. Or I might watch something funny or go snuggle one of my kids. So bonus point of that is after you've either written it out, cried it out, or screamed it out, go look at your eyes in the mirror. I can almost guarantee that you will see a difference. There'll be a brightness to your eyes. The whites will be whiter. There'll be some kind of clarity that you're going to see in your eyes. Let alone what you feel inside your body. But that to me is always like the, oh yeah. I don't know why, but I noticed that one day a while ago. And then every single time when emotions come up that I feel, especially if I've cried, I look in the mirror and I'm like, oh, yes. It's like my soul is looking back at me saying, thank you. To see what you've done? We're a little lighter, a little clearer. We've peeled off another layer today. Thank you. Good job. Good job. So, these processes, as much as I do my best to go through this on the podcast, and my intention is always to give you something to do with these more tips, there's a lot of you, I love you, and I'm the same way too. We're just be like, we go, oh, that'd be something cool to do, and then we just don't do it, right? So this is why I do live events. This is why I coach. This is why I create this brand new experience called the Women Wanting More Retreat Experience, so that you can be away from family and friends and partner and work and be inside this bubble, that you're going to get on a plane, fly here to beautiful Victoria, BC, Canada, where I live. People, by the way, fly all over the world to go to Victoria. It's the capital of BC, and it really is such a beautiful city. We have oceans and mountains and nature's all around. Literally deer walking through the city. I'm not kidding you. When you get down here, you will see deer. And get really clear, to learn these tools, to for the women that are coming, and this is really designed for women that are in a crossroads. They're like, I'm just stuck. I feel really lost. I don't know who the fuck I am. And I've been trying. I've been listening to your podcast, Karen. I've been going to their seminars. I've been going to therapy. I'm talking to friends. I'm journaling. I'm meditating. But I'm kind of not really, the needle's not really moving at all, right? And so it's understanding too that, there's work that for sure we need to do this work. Nobody's going to do it for us, but yet we can't do it alone. We're not even designed to do this work alone. We're just not. And so this is for women that are just yes, I am ready to invest time, energy, money in myself. Let's go. Because if I continue down this path of where I am, it's costing me way too much right now on many fronts. And I want to be around women who are like me, because I feel like I'm so different from other women. And I don't want to do this alone. And what's really, really one of the most beautiful gifts, and there's many beautiful gifts that I get from these experiences, by leading and guiding and being that presence, leading you through, is to see how quickly that transformation really can happen. Yes, it's a paradox. Yes, healing takes time. But on the other level, it is amazing what happens in 2 days. You want to see difference in eyes, by the way? Oh my God. We always take a picture at the beginning and at the end, and women physically look different. There was a difference in their face, in their eyes. It is undeniable. The healing and the change and the shift that happens, so at the other end of this, women come out clear on knowing and remembering who they are. They come out more clear on where the healing needs to continue. They come out really clear on where they need to go from here, owning their worthiness, loving themselves. This being the catalyst for continuing the work, but this being the tip off to really get them moving in that right direction, and then remain in a sisterhood of women that are like them. I mean, listen, you go through experiences like this with other women, it's bonding, man. It's just the most beautiful experience. And for you to know and feel and to know that you are not alone. So this is speaking to you. Here's what you need to do. This is my application only. There's just 8 spots that are left. Okay. And the women that are approaching me now, they're like, I'm ready for this. We still have to apply. Still need to make sure that they're a fit, but it's so beautiful. I've been asking the universe to just be have the women step forward that are ready, that are the right women to be at this retreat. And those are the ones that are coming to me. And so maybe that's you, maybe it's not. I don't know, sister, but we're never going to know unless you apply and you try. So here's what you need to do. To apply for one of the 8 remaining spots, just 8 that are left, you need to send me a text, 250-589-4811. This is actually my number. Okay, it's not like I have a phone. It's just, no, this is my actual cell phone number, okay? 250-589-4811. Please text me and just say this, Karen, I'd like to apply for the retreat. That's it. Love to apply for the retreat. Okay, and I will connect with you. Text is the best. You can email me too, drkarenosborne@gmail.com, but text is fast. Okay, text is easiest for all of us. You're probably listening from your phone right now. Okay, so here's what you're going to do. Pick up your phone. You're going to text this number, 250-589-4811, and say, Karen, I would love to apply, and I would love to hear from you. So I will talk to you in the next episode, sister. A Life of More really is one step away from you moving through your feelings and feeling your feelings every single day. I love and appreciate you.
To get the show notes of each Women Wanting More episode, including the How to Get More tip, subscribe to the newsletter at drkarenosborne.com/newsletter.